Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's pretty cool. I'm amazed. Go ahead.
So no, yeah. Now we're recording this now, so this will be like a video that I can show people. Put it up on YouTube, and we can go through some of your photos and stuff like that, and you can tell me, or if you have photos too, if you have photos that you want to share. So.
All right, great. Pull up those ones. You showed me two, and I don't recall ever seeing them in the past. Jeez.
I think let's bring this one up here. That's that one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that looks like down at Camp Lejeune. That is the 2nd Marine Division base down in North Carolina. Big base, big base. Week active duty. And that would have been probably around 1977, 78, you know.
What was going on 70, like military wise? That was way after Vietnam. So at that point,
I don't recall anything really pressing, you know. No, it seemed to be pretty mellow back then. 77. Of course, you always got the Arab-Palestinian business going on, you know.
Sure, yeah.
That's all I can think of. Maybe Lebanon or something like that, you know, but nothing crazy like we got today.
Yeah, exactly. What about this? Is this shirtless in the desert?
Oh. You know what? Can I make that picture any bigger now? I mean, can I? Yeah. Oh, no, I seen the picture. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was down in Vieques, Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Every like we went down there for training. We went down there like for. Now this is when I was in the regular Marines. Now.
Okay.
We went down there for 3 months of training, amphibious training and the like, you know. Vieques was a big naval, what would you call impact area.
Yeah. You
know, where you had the 16 inches banging away and dropping bombs and everything else on this area, you know. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, they stopped that because they found out that it was a great tourist spot also. So
it is. I've been there a few times.
Oh, you at Vieques?
Not there. No, I mean San Juan, and then out around the island a little bit. Yeah.
Another island too. In fact, I think this was the impact area. Was a place called Calibra. That was another small island near Vieques.
Mm-hmm.
Vieques, I mean, it was a big island. One small little town, and that was it. Beautiful place too.
I remember the food being really good.
So we'd spent 3 months there, and in pyramid tents, and then we made a couple of amphibious landings on the beaches down there. Yeah. In fact, I think if you ever heard of the movie Battle Cry, it was about the Marines during World War II. But I'm pretty sure the amphibious landings took place on Vieques. They used that as backdrop for the war.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to get that a couple of times on Netflix. They don't have it anymore.
Battle Cry, you said? What year is that? Was that from?
That would have been 1954 or 55.
What year do you think this photo's from?
Oh, that's 1955. Now that looks like it was on a slide one time, a color slide. They made a picture out of it.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm saying 1977. Now I got a phone call. Let me see, who the hell is this now? Lost my dog. What the hell is that now?
Call from Lost.com.
Lost my dog.
Call from
Really?
I don't understand. Who's
call from Lost.com.
Lost me doggy.
Lost me doggy.
He's got an Irish accent. I lost me doggy.
All right, so much for lost dogs.
Maybe I'll leave a message. Describe what the dog looks like. Is this right after boot camp right here?
That would be right No, no. Where the hell is that now?
I'm reading in the back. He says 420 day, July 56, August 57.
Okay, that's about a year after I left boot camp.
Okay.
So I was probably home on leave. And that's what we did then. There was these stores where you could have your picture taken. Yeah, that was about a year after I left Paris Island. Yeah.
And then these ones with Annie, it looks like we have kind of a series. So we have the portrait, which I have a similar one with Jess.
Yeah, now that was probably right after boot camp. Boot camp leave.
Yeah. Like, let's get him in the uniform. Yeah.
Oh, I figured I earned that uniform and I wore it to every place.
So yeah, I know, right? You're just kind of like, it was like, this is mine. I bought it. I earned this. Yeah.
Oh, you see the jacket that I have on in that picture?
Yeah.
Okay, now of course they don't have those jackets anymore.
Okay.
But they're similar to and you'll never guess where my battle jacket is now. I gave it a Madison.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And and I gave her a copy of that picture there. And she has it in the pocket in case I ever ask about it. Yeah, this is my grandpa's,
Oh, that's so good.
So she's got that same picture that you got. So anyway, it's called a battle jacket. They stopped using them probably in the early 60s, I think.
I mean, yeah,
right.
Military goes through so many uniforms changes. It's insane. We're going through one.
So I like that jacket anyway. It was cool, comfortable too.
Yeah. And then we got, I guess this is probably like candid from like after. So here's you on the couch.
Oh yeah. That's my mom's place. And that would have been 1954.
Bronx, Brooklyn?
Oh, Bronx, yeah.
Bronx, yeah.
Daly Avenue. Daly Avenue, 1954.
And then you have the, I don't even know what kind of camera was taking these pictures.
Okay.
Probably all from the same day, because that one, and then you have this one too. She's wearing the hat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That camera, they were very popular back then. Of course, it was Kodak. They're the only ones that were making the cameras at the time. I'm trying to think of the name of it. It was a simple camera. Everybody had them. When I went into the Marines, into the regulars, I bought a nice 35 millimeter down at Camp Lejeune and the PX down there. Yeah, that was pretty nice. But the cheaper models were Kodaks, and I can't think of the name of them now. You probably get them on eBay for $10 or $12,
Oh yeah, I have Steve got me a Pentax K1000 35 millimeter that I use every once in a while. If I go hiking with Bowie or something.
I think it was Steve, my old 35 millimeter August C3. And that was really a high-end camera. Like before the Japs got into it, the Americans, all I had was Kodak and August.
Yeah.
And August was the best of them, unless you were the Germans with the Leica. And that was out of anybody. You have to go $200 or $300 even back in the 50s for a Leica camera.
They're still pretty expensive. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then the Japanese came out with 10, 12, 15 different types of 35s. All of them very good too. Nikon, Nicorex, Pentax. It was, like I said, about 15 different cameras, and all good too. Do
you ever think about like doing photography again?
No, for some reason I really liked photography. And what I had done when I was in the regular Marines, we used to have a not a first aid kit. They called it a jungle kit, and it went on to your pistol belt. You know what a pistol belt is? The holster and all that stuff goes on it. and canteens, all that junk. So what I did was I found an extra one, and I took all the junk out of it. And I got a small little camera. In fact, I gave it to Steve. It was called a PAX, P-A-X, cheap little 35. And I would put that in my jungle kit. So anytime I went out to the field, I always had a camera right there in that little jungle kit, you know?
Yeah.
But at home, of course, when I got married, I had a camera when I got married, taking pictures of the kids and you guys and everybody. And yeah, I really liked photography. It was fun, but I just haven't got into. Then we went to Ireland was the last time, and I bought a nice fancy. What the hell was the camera I had? Either a Canon, I think maybe it was a Canon. I bought a Canon for around maybe about $700. In fact, I still got it too, and I took some nice pictures over in Ireland.
Did you get it at the PX? PX is a good place to get cameras.
Yeah, no, I didn't get it at the PX. What the hell did I? Oh, no, I got it at some camera store in Westchester County, I think. Yeah, so no, I didn't get it at the PX. I think back then, if you were in the reserves, which I was, you could only go when you were on active duty to the PX.
Oh, really? They would check your ID and be like, "No, you can't come in. You're just a part-timer."
Oh yeah, like when I would go away to summer camp, as we called it, or well, the 2 weeks anyway, training, ATD. I get a set of orders and give them to Grandma Annie, and she loved to go up to West Point and just clean out the PX and the commissary and everything else in one day, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that was about the only time we could use that. And then I don't know what year it was. You could use it all year round anyway, you know. Your ID card was enough. Yeah, but we don't really find much difference in the prices. Sheila goes to Costco and she says to me that some of the prices are better. They're better at Costco.
Yeah, I don't know why the PX is so expensive now. It used to just be like, you would get a low price and you would have no tax involved. But then I remember in California at the PX that we had on the base, anything there, whether it was from groceries or clothes or all that stuff, you could get it easily at Costco or Target for less that they were selling. So I was like, that's the
we'll
draw
go
now.
up there. I like going to West Point, you know, just a nice drive.
Oh, in general, yeah, West Point's beautiful.
You know, in fact, I took you there one time. I think you were home on leave. And we went up to West Point anyway. In fact, I ran into an old buddy of mine up there too the same day, I remember. You were all wrapped up looking at DVDs and all that stuff. And I was talking to this guy for about an hour. You know? Let me see what the hell. Yeah, so we'll go up there once a year to pick up a couple of odds and ends that you can't get in any other place. You know, but basically we don't bother. It's about an hour drive, but it's a nice hour anyway. And you pick a nice day in the fall. I never got a traffic ticket in my life.
I know where this is going. I know exactly where this is going.
Never got a ticket at all. I'm in West Point. And I'm going down this, I just left the PX. I'm going down this road towards Main Side. And I think it was a 35-mile-an-hour zone, and I'm doing maybe 40, 45. And who pulls up behind me but the MPs? And they pull me over. And I got my Marine Corps decals all over the freaking car. I hand them my ID card and my license. This little shit didn't care, you know. It was a young buck sergeant.
Yeah.
He said to me something about, you know, I didn't know you were like a chief in the Marines, you know, or something like that. But you just had my license. What the hell are you talking about? You pass by the back of my car and look at the plate. There's decals all over the damn place. But you know what it is? I think with West Point, they run into so many retired admirals and retired admirals' wives and
Mm-hmm.
colonels and so much rank up there. And everybody knows somebody,
Yeah, they
that
get a
they
lot
don't
of.
give a shit.
Yeah, no, they get a lot of. Do you know who I am?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like,
I
no,
didn't,
I'm
so I've been
21.
alone.
Like, come on.
You know,
Yeah.
you know, I just told him basically you got to do what you got to do, and that's it.
Yeah.
So I got a ticket for $115,
Oh.
and I had to pay it. Didn't go on a license or anything. I had to check too.
Yeah, yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah.
What's the point? So I've been up there a couple of times since.
When was the last time
The last
what was the last time you went?
Oh, probably a year ago. Yeah. We usually go like in the fall. Yeah. Well, I know like Matthew's father-in-law, he's retired lieutenant commander
Mm-hmm.
in Coast Guard.
Yep.
And he goes up there for everything. He goes up there for the veterinarian service.
Okay.
He whatever the service they got, he goes for it.
Yeah, take advantage of it. Yeah, of
Now,
course.
with I don't know if he uses the medical law. I don't use the medical because I had the same thing. I retired. What do they call it now? TRICARE.
Yep.
Retired anyway.
That's what I'm probably gonna be on.
And I don't even use it because of what I got from the city. You can't beat. Now you guys still have to pay your medical now, don't you?
It comes out of our paycheck. Yeah.
It does. See now, yeah. Well, I don't know. I guess I wouldn't have to pay because I'm retired, but I still. And then the hospital would be up at West Point, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And so the medical I got from the city is much better. I had my 2 knees replaced. I had 10 days of PT down in White Plains, and it cost me $50 for the television, and that was it. And the pills are $2.50 here, $2.50 there, $3, dollar.
Mm-hmm.
So the city of New York is a good plan anyway. I don't think they still have it though.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I was thinking about giving you? I saw you had that sword up on the wall there last time we were talking.
Yes. Yep.
Now that's an Indian sword, right?
Yep.
Now what I have a sword, English sword, probably made about 1910. So one of those handsome sword, and it is to an engineer in the British Army in 1915.
Okay.
So his name is on, his initials are on the sword.
His
last name was Holmes. I forget his first name, but I did the research on him and the sword. So now he was an engineer, but you look at the World War I, the planes they had, and they were just starting the Air Force. So, I mean, engineers were being recruited to fly planes because they're technically, savvy.
Sure.
So
cross-training.
Oh yeah, sure. So he flew a biplane for the British Army, and he shot down 3 German planes.
Wow.
And because of it, they gave him the Military Cross.
Sure.
Now, the Military Cross, very similar, I would say equivalent to our Silver Star, which is a big deal if you got a Silver Star, So he got the Military Cross, and then he was shot down and anymore. So I think he worked as some kind of a history anyway. And what makes it interesting is you got the sword, and then you have, and the sword, they all got swords when they graduated officer school.
Right.
And there was
Well,
infantry
I
swords,
mean, like the
engineer
Academy, Coast
swords,
Guard Academy, they give you a sword too. Yeah.
but back then, in fact, the early part of the First World War, there was even a couple of cavalry charges, with the swords and the lances.
Yeah.
And the Germans had the lances also.
Hmm.
So it's kind of a nice piece of history,
Totally. Yeah.
So so when you get in this neck of the woods again, I'll give it to you,
Oh, sweet.
and I'll try to come up with some more information.
Did you get any?
I'll
Do
try to
you have
come up
any
with some more
pictures of the
information.
guy? Do you have any pictures of the guy, or like?
No,
Oh,
sometimes I'll find pictures.
sure.
Uh,
Or like his regiment, maybe, or
the-
something like that, like a group photo.
I got a picture of the plane that he was flying at the time.
Okay.
1915 or 16 biplane,
Mm.
Like a Snoopy plane.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what he was doing without
Mhm.
Snoopy. No picture of him, but sometimes I'll do the research and I'll come across pictures. There's one guy, I have a picture of him from the newspaper. He was a captain. And then there's another picture of his son, who's also in a uniform 20 years later. What a shame.
Wow.
You're born in 1919, you're definitely going to be in the Second World War. And sure enough, the father was in the First World War, and the son was in the Second World War.
Yeah.
It's but you come up with some interesting stuff anyway when you're doing the research.
Yeah.
What the hell? I'm looking at something now from the Boer War. I may have a go at that, a medal called Queen South Africa. It's a nice picture of Queen Victoria on one side, and on the other side of the medal is a picture of like a fleet of ships coming into a port in South Africa. It's a handsome medal. It's to a guy in the Dublin Fusiliers, and he was in a Boer War, and there's some history to the guy anyway. But he was in the brig 3 times. At one time, he was in a brig for 130 days.
Troublemaker.
130 days he was in a brig.
Yeah.
Another time, 14 days. Another time, 15 days. And then they got him about a year later. He deserted, and he was trying to get into another regiment.
Usually when you go to the brig once, that's it. You're kicked out. So 3 times, they must have really liked him.
Oh, yeah, well, that's it, too. It was 19... Well, no. But Boer War, no. The Boer War they weren't as hard pressed as they were 20 years later during the First World War, But anyway, a quick story. We were all in the Middle East anyway, and we pulled into Singapore. There's a battalion now of Marines aboard a transport, we were on a ship for 3 months. And you're talking about racks that are like 7 and 8 high. So that's how we were living anyway for the 3 months.
Yeah.
So we pull into Singapore and they give us liberty, like port and starboard liberty. So we're ready to go back to the ship. And I go into this bar and there's 3 guys from my company. And I recognize the 3 of them. And they're swacked out of their minds.
Sure.
And what they had done was there were only PFCs at the time. They took their chevrons off their uniform.
Yeah.
And we were wearing Marine emblems on our collars at the time. They took the Marine emblems off. And they told me that they were going into fight with the British against the communists in Malaya. The Brits were still fighting over there in Malaya at the time. So these guys in their drunken stupor thought it was a great idea.
That they were just going to just go in with them and
go, oh yeah, they're just going to leave the bar and go find Malaya someplace. And that was it. So anyway, we pulled out and we went up to Hong Kong. And the 3 of them now were missing movement, I think they called it.
Yeah.
When you don't make the ship, miss and move.
Yep.
Yes, and move it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in Hong Kong, and this British ship pulls up alongside of us, and they run like a gangplank across stairs to our ship. And there's the three dopey bastards.
Take your idiots. We don't want them.
Walking across the gangplank, and they stuck them in the brig aboard the ship for the rest of the time, which was probably about another month they were in. And they were, I think you could sit down. I don't even know if you could lay down in these. They were like telephone booths with doors on them, steel doors. And then when they got back to Japan, they put them in the brig in Japan. And the brig, these are three nice guys. The brig really broke these guys. It was a terrible brig. In fact, they even wrote a book about it. And the book was called The Brig. The beatings and everything else that went on there. And of course, once you went in, matter of fact, our barracks was across the street from the brig. The brig was only like a big hut. Maybe it held 30 or 40 guys. That was it. And when they went to chow, to the same chow hall we did. And they marched to chow and meet in a special section in the chow hall. But if you looked at them, we called them turnkeys, the prison guards. They would grab you and have you march with the prisoners into the chow hall and eat your chow with the prisoners.
Oh my God!
And then take you back to the brig and rattle your cage a little bit, and then let you go. So when they were marching down the street, nobody looked at them.
Yeah.
So that was called the Middle Camp Brig, and it was a tough place to be. And once you left there, you didn't want to come back. No way in hell.
No.
But it kind of broke the spirit of these guys. These guys were, just hot shit guys, and they just had too much to drink, and they got a stupid idea.
How long were they in there for?
I would say maybe a month aboard ship, and then maybe 2 months in Japan, in the brig in Japan. So maybe a total of 3 months.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be pretty bad. 3 months of that, and then you're broken.
Oh no, they the spirit, but they were different, totally different when they left the brig. Different guys. So anyway, I'm gonna let you go.
This is good. We'll do this again. Do you want to do this again next weekend?
Yeah, you got any more pictures?
I got a whole basket of pictures ready to go.
Is that big? Is that big one? Am I in that big one?
I don't know. I don't remember what this one is about.
That looks. Oh no, that's hurling, and you're Irish.
Yeah.
And I'm not, and I ain't there. That's for sure.
No.
You might find your great grandfather in there. Yeah, your mom would have to explain that one to you.
I think I'm FaceTiming with her tonight, so I'll bring it up and she can kind of.
You see the sticks that
I do. I saw the sticks. Yeah, it looks like hockey sticks.
Yeah, it's hurling.
Okay.
That's a big Irish thing, hurling.
Oh, one last thing though. Did you watch that Irish World War I video I sent you on YouTube?
Oh, I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Wasn't that good? That was amazing.
Those guys, what they went through, because I'm kind of a bit of a historian when it comes to that First World War stuff. What those guys went through is incredible.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Germans, it wasn't just Germans. Everybody, Greek, everything. I started reading up on it, and I got into the Gallipoli campaign.
Yeah.
And what happened that day. And I started collecting medals to guys that were at Gallipoli and doing the research on them all, And it was just amazing, so tragic. And then they had to tiptoe out of there and leave 50,000 soldiers there.
I know.
Burn their supplies, burn everything, and then just tiptoe out. What a shame. It was a total disaster. They never got more than I think maybe a mile and a half from the beach, and that was it. They weren't, just if you ever read about Gallipoli, you just shake your head.
Yeah.
Man's humanity to man, Hey,
Mhm.
it was, you're landing at Turkey, and the Turks are fighting for their homeland,
Mhm, mhm.
So for the Brits, it was a big adventure. They were hoping to get through to, Gallipoli, go up through Constantinople, then get into the Med to the south, and end the war. Oh no, it was terrible. You got to come here someday, and I'll spend a couple of hours yakking about my medals and swords and all that stuff.
Yes, I would like that.
Okay, I'm gonna let you go then, Sean.
Yeah, we have dinner.
All the best.
This is awesome. Thanks.